Hello, what is up, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be just a sit down chit chat video. As you can see from the title, I had my baby. If you don't know, this is my second baby. I have a 2.5, she's actually going to be 3 literally in like 3 weeks. Girl, her name is Ariel, and I just had my second baby. He is two weeks old. This time is very, very, very different. Having 2 babies is literally so hard. I don't know who said having your first baby is the hardest because you are a new mom, a new parent, never have taken care of a baby before, because you're wrong. The second baby is the hardest. At least for me, it's been really hard because, for one, I also have a 2-year-old, so she's like in the terrible twos. She's also a new toddler, so she's running around wanting to touch everything, wanting to be in everyone's business, needing literally everything. She's still very needy. And then also she still sleeps with us, which is a story for another day. It has been so much harder this time, having to care for my newborn with my toddler. And then also, whoever said the newborn stage is the hardest is also wrong, because like I said before, I have a 2.5, almost 3-year-old, and she's literally the bane of my existence. She's in that very hard stage right now. But anyway, this is not about any of that. This is about my birth story and my new baby boy. So I will show him. Obviously, he's actually sitting literally right next to me in his swing. He's sleeping. We're going out to dinner in a little bit, so I kind of want him to sleep. Ariel is currently not here, so I figured this would be the best time to film this. Again, this is why it's probably taking me so long to film this, edit, and get this up, because just finding time to do anything is hard. So I had him on July 21st. He was born at 2:06 p.m. and he was 7 pounds, 11.3 ounces, and 19 inches long. I gave birth at the exact same hospital that I gave birth with my daughter. It's actually funny because I gave birth in the exact same room that my daughter was also born in. And the exact same doctor delivered both of my babies. So kind of funny coincidence in that way. This is the birth of my second baby, my little baby boy. So the day before I gave birth, it was my nephew's birthday party, and coincidentally it was at a trampoline park. So we went, obviously took Ariel, and we were running around, jumping around. I was having contractions all that day, but I had really had Braxton Hicks pretty much my entire pregnancy. I started having Braxton Hicks at between 25 and 28 weeks. And it was the same with Ariel, so I knew that it was like nothing was wrong, but I started having Braxton Hicks very early. So when I had the contractions at the birthday party, I thought they were Braxton Hicks contractions, but they were really frequent. And because I was at a party and I was having fun, I was running around with Ariel, whatever, I really wasn't timing them and I wasn't thinking about them when I was having them. I was just kind of letting them pass by until that night we had come home, and Ariel actually went to my mom's house for the night. We had actually invited our friends over. They were here until like midnight, 12:30-ish. And then they had left, and this whole time I was timing my contractions, but I really wasn't thinking anything of it. And then me and Ethan, I went to bed around like 1:30, and I wake up, obviously when you're pregnant you have to pee so much, so like I always wake up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, and I always wake up between 2 and 3 to go to the bathroom and to get a snack, because that's all it was my snack time. Mr. Man has joined us and he wanted to eat, so anyway, back to the story. I had gotten up to go to the bathroom like I normally do, and I had a horrible contraction. I sat on the toilet and I just ended up having my contractions, and I was having them, and I was really hoping that it was false contractions, because I did not want my baby to be born on another person's birthday again. Not for any particular reason other than I think everybody should have their own day to celebrate and feel special. If you don't know, my daughter shares a birthday with my mother-in-law, and now Mr. Man shares a birthday with my father-in-law. I don't know how that happened, but it happened, and it's just my luck. But anyway, I actually did take a video of myself, so I will insert it here. It is 5 a.m. I'm having another contraction. Oh my god. I've been having contractions for about an hour. And if it looks like I'm crying, I am not crying because I am having contractions. I'm crying because my baby might yet again have to share a birthday. Why does my life hate me? I've been timing them for about a half hour. I've been having them for about an hour, and I've been timing them for about a half hour, and they are lasting a minute. And my app tells me I should go to the hospital, but I'm not going to the hospital yet, because if I am in labor, I like to try and labor at home as much as possible, because I don't want to be in the hospital for longer than I need to. Today's literally the only day I did not want to be in labor. Here I am. So this is the start of my contractions. It was around 2:30, 3 o'clock when I started. I was probably having them for a few hours like before that, and obviously I was having them the whole day before, but like when they really started getting intense, it was around this time. I started to time them, and I kept walking around the house, laying back in the bed, going back in the bathroom, standing up, sitting down, trying to sit on the ball, trying to sit on the toilet to see if that would help. And then eventually I finally laid back in bed, and they were just too intense to lay in bed, so I got back up and went back into the bathroom, and Ethan had come out and he had seen me, and I was literally in the middle of contraction, and he was like, "Are you okay? Like, what's going on?" And I was like, I'm great, in the middle of a contraction. I was like, "It's false, you can go back to bed." He was like, "Should I get dressed?" I was like, "Nope, it's false, go back to bed." In the middle of a contraction. And I knew they weren't false deep down inside. I knew they weren't, but I really wanted them to be. Because at this point, it was like 4 o'clock, and I was already timing them for an hour, and they were already lasting a minute, and they were 5 minutes apart. And that's exactly what they need to be for you to go to the hospital. And my app kept literally telling me, "You should go to the hospital. You need to go to the hospital." And I just kept ignoring it. So Ethan went back to bed. Well, he went and laid back down for a couple minutes, and then he got back up, and he was like, "You should probably call your doctor." And I was like, "Nope, I'm good." But I called my doctor, and she said, "This is your second baby. Second babies usually come faster." And my first already came fast. She came in 6.5 hours, and that's already, it is still a long time to be in labor, but it's already fast. Most people have 12 to 24 hour labors, and Ariel came in 6. So she was like, "This is your second baby. They usually come faster, so you should come in." I really didn't want to go in because I wanted to labor at home as much as I like as possible, or as much as possible, just like I did with Ariel, because the hospitals here at least only keep you for 4 centimeters. If you're anything before that, they send you home, and I did not want to drive all the way there and get sent home. My hospital's 30 minutes away. That might not be far for some people, but for me, especially at 4 o'clock in the morning, that's far. So I was like, no. We actually stopped and picked up my mom because my mom was going to be there for the birth, and we went to the hospital, and lo and behold, when we got there, I was only 3 centimeters, and I really thought they were going to send me home, but I was actually supposed to get induced the day after, on the 22nd. She was like, because you're gonna be here tomorrow and you're gonna be induced anyways, we're just gonna admit you, we're gonna keep you. I planned to labor the exact same way as I did with Ariel because it was the best birth I could have ever imagined. So I knew I wanted to start off in the bath. So we went to my room and I got right into the bath, and I sat in the bath for a good 2 hours. And let me tell you, those contractions, I don't know what it was this time, but they were worse. They were painful. They were horrible. They came a lot stronger early this time. With Ariel, I feel like I couldn't really, not like feel it. Obviously, I felt the contractions, but like they weren't as intense until around 7 centimeters. And I was feeling these contractions at 3. Like, it was disgusting. I went fully unmedicated with Ariel, and I planned to do the same this time around. So I sat in the tub for about 2 hours, and then I got out because I wanted to be checked to see if it was doing anything. She had checked me and I was about a 5'6". So it did do something, it just didn't work as quickly as it did with Ariel. So I stayed out of the bath and I used my TENS unit, and I sat on the ball for, I don't really know how long I sat on the ball for, maybe an hour, but then I was checked again. I was only 7 centimeters. And by this point, I was literally exhausted. I had only gotten an hour of sleep because our friends were over, so we were up all night, and then I started having contractions between 2:30 and 3, so I had only gotten barely an hour of sleep. I was literally physically and mentally exhausted by this point. I ended up getting back into the bath for a little while because even though the bath didn't make me go as fast as I thought it would, it took pressure off my stomach, made the contractions feel a little less. So I got back into the bath, not for long, maybe for 30, 45 minutes. And then I got back out and I laid in bed. I couldn't breathe, and I kept telling myself, like, I don't want the epidural. The only reason I got the epidural this time is because I was so exhausted. If I got sleep, I would have been able to push through. Because I got the epidural so late, I could have made it. But with Ariel, I was fine. I had enough sleep. I wasn't tired. I wasn't exhausted. So I was able to prepare myself before each contraction. I was able to breathe through them and, you know, get ready for the contraction. This time around, I was so tired and I was so exhausted. I could barely keep my eyes open, and it was affecting the way that I was breathing and getting through my contractions. So it made the contractions feel 10 times worse than what they really felt like. So I asked for the epidural. It didn't come until an hour later. So I was 8 centimeters by then. I had already had my water broken. He came in and broke my water around when I was like 6 centimeters. And then it took a half hour for them to put it in. So I was 8 centimeters, almost 9 by the time I had gotten the epidural. Everybody always says all the time, like, I felt immediate relief when I got the epidural. Like, the epidural was great, and I'm here thinking this whole entire time that the epidural is a needle that goes in your back. That's what I thought it was, and it's not. It's a catheter that they put in your spine. So I'm thinking that it's gonna be like a quick shot. Obviously, I know it's like, everybody says it's like this long needle, whatever, but like, I thought it was gonna be just like a quick shot. No, they literally had to like set up the whole bed and set me up and wipe me down and put the catheter in, and then like, so it took a long time. So I was contracting through this entire thing, and it was the worst possible thing ever. Finally, after I had the epidural, I was able to fall asleep, and Ethan said that I was sleeping for like an hour. Once I woke up, I felt like I had to poop. So I told my mom, and she was like, it's probably because you have to push. So she went and got the doctor, and he came in and rolled me over because I was laying on my side. He rolled me over, and then as soon as like I rolled over and like opened my legs, he was like, oh, there's his head. So I was ready to push. I did a practice push, then I did one more push, and he came out. So I literally pushed for not even a minute. He was born 2:06. It wasn't the birth that I had planned, but it wasn't like the worst birth ever. I do still beat myself up for getting the epidural. I know everybody's gonna come at me and be like, you're not less of a person or not less of a mom for getting epidural, like, don't make other moms feel like bad or whatever. And that's not at all what I'm trying to do or what I'm trying to say. Is just, for me, I really, really, really was set on having an unmedicated birth, just like my first. But unfortunately this time, I was falling asleep in the middle of a contraction, like between my contractions. Then once I finally fell asleep, another one came. So it was like they were just coming and coming and coming and coming, and I was having no time to prepare myself like I did with my first. So it was just making it a lot harder for me, and I knew that I needed some sleep because obviously I'm having a new baby, so I needed to get some sort of sleep. We only stayed there for literally 26 hours to be exact. He was born on July 21st and we came home July 22nd. It was the quickest hospital stay. This time around, I feel like I talked a lot more in the beginning and a lot less at the end. With Ariel, I talked a lot less in the beginning and a lot more at the end. So it's very funny how they were like different. And I feel like both of them were pretty much the same. Obviously, there were some tweaks, some differences in both of my births, but they were pretty similar. And the timing is just so funny because I was in labor with him for 7 hours and I was in labor with her for 6.5. And I only pushed for, I had it counted the other day in my pictures, but it was like not even 15-20 minutes with her and she was out, and for him it was like a minute. So there's some slight differences, but they were pretty similar. He was completely healthy and I was completely healthy. I didn't tear at all. Same thing with Ariel. I also didn't tear with her. So this postpartum process was a lot similar but easier because obviously I knew what to do this time. I didn't know what to do last time, but I healed very quickly. It's been very, very hard adjusting with two babies, being home with two babies. Ethan was only able to stay home with us for the first week and then he had to go back to work. So I've been taking care of both babies by myself and it's been rough. Still adjusting, still trying to get into the swing of things, still trying to get on a schedule because it's just hard with a almost 3-year-old who likes to party all day every day and does not nap anymore and does not like to sleep at night either, and then also take care of a newborn that needs to eat every 2 hours, be changed every 2 hours. Granted, he likes to sleep all day. He does not like to sleep at night. So here he is right here. He was born, oh, Bubby. He's not happy right now. He was born with a full head of hair. We did not know he was gonna come out with this much hair. He looks just like daddy. I don't think I shared his name, which is so funny. So this is Enzo Valentine, and he's not named after anybody. We wanted him to have his own name. We like short first names, long middle names, and Ariel evergreen. So we have both for babies, and yeah, we are going to just continue to learn and figure out life, and I will eventually get back into my vlogging, but I wanted to get this video out there because I didn't want to leave you guys hanging. Obviously, I've already been posting him on social media. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, leave them down below. Follow me on all my social medias, and I will see you guys in my next one, and I will have 2 babies next time you see me. I have 2 babies now, but there will be 2 babies in the video. Bye, guys.